Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Blind Press Twitch channel and Blind Press at Night. Tonight's gonna be fun. Well, actually, this is gonna be a two-parter because it's gonna be tonight and Friday, split up, of course, by a gaming stream. But that water was good. But, as I was saying, we are going to be looking at the debate between Ethan Klein and Pearl Davis. And it's going to illustrate to us just a little bit more about how crazy the red pill community is. And also, it's going to demonstrate to us just how far through the wormhole we've gone where I'm going to be agreeing with goddamn Ethan Klein. I don't think I've done that in, probably about 4 years. So, I'm really feeling kind of, like Alice through the looking glass, if you know what I mean. Because this is going to be weird on so many levels. It's just gonna be weird. I've seen a bit of this. I've gone through a couple of it, trying to pick out the segments I was wanting to use as a promo. I couldn't. And I'm sure that there's just so much more that I missed. And this is just gonna be... We're gonna be surprised, I have a feeling. All of us are gonna be very surprised by all of the insanity that we are about to hear. So, with that in mind... Oops, I'm gonna knock over my corkscrew. With that in mind, we're gonna go until this is gone. The hard stuff is coming on Friday. Because I still have to, do the mom thing and stuff tomorrow and get the kids ready for school. But, yeah. I am not going to be able to get through any of this without alcohol. So, with that being said, I'm going to try to get this apparently I left a cork in here. Bad me. Bad blind press. Bad. Okay. So, yeah, we're gonna go until the wine is gone. And yes, I also have water. So, you can do hydrates, you can do finish it's. Because I've got a small enough glass of wine that I can do a finish it without dying. So yeah, this is gonna be a very, very interesting night. Yeah. Also, I would like to make what was I gonna say? Where does this go? Ow! Wrist, you're not supposed to crack like that. Come on. Come on out. You know you wish to come out of here. Let's go. Yeah? It's almost out. I'm just trying not to lose the cork at the top. Start the movie? But I have to screen share it first. And I'm trying to get the damn cork out of the damn wine bottle. But it's not working.
Let go. Jesus, I'm watching fucking...
You don't gotta be so mean.
Drink your juice.
Oh, shush.
The cork's black.
The what? The cork's what?
Shush and drink your wine.
Meow. Okay. Let's move along to our feature presentation. Ithan versus Pearl Davis. Oh my god. So we're starting at the intro and we're gonna jump right into her hot takes, I guess. I guess. I don't know if you can call them hot. You can call them ridiculous. I have a feeling I'm going to be using that word a lot. I might also be switching it with another word that I probably shouldn't be using very often for monetization reasons. But I don't know. When the shoe fits, I don't know what else I can do. So, oh, there's activity. Hold on. Where is all? Oh, come on. Oh, well, all right then. Stretch, then I shall. Stretch. That actually feels good. Stretch. Oh. Ooh, hello, my neck just popped. That's always fun. When you're stretching and your neck goes all right. Let's get chat back up. Activity feed closed. And chat expanded. Wahaha. I know what I'm doing. Kind of, sort of, maybe, no. Okay. So, let's get a sip of water, let's pour a glass of wine, and let's start the movie.
Sure, a lot do, but I kind of want to just introduce you. You've become really successful the past year or two. Kind of, you're friends with Fresh and Fit, right? Those guys are your dogs, so to speak. And you kind of are sympathetic to their kind of views. But you've made a name for yourself just on TikTok and on YouTube.
Wait, she has a TikTok? I'll find it later.
Let me just ask you generally, like, what kind of messages are you sharing on your platform? What kind of important messages
please,
is it
Pearl.
that you
What
find
message?
yourself are about?
I believe in family, so I think that we should have policies that push family. I think that feminism overall was a bad thing. I think
okay, wait.
that we should be...
Stop. Feminism overall? Like, in broad sweeping terms, you think it was a bad thing? You think, like, including suffrage? 'Cause, like, I'll give you feminism for the last 25 years has done not really anything. But feminism overall? No, I don't think so. I don't think so, ma'am.
Yeah. I think women are happier when we have, a family and kids over a career in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
not all
yeah.
women.
Sorry,
but
I'm a little
alright.
nervous.
It's
I'm a
okay.
little-
Yeah, I understand. So it's more like traditional. You want people to kind of follow a more traditional path in terms of family and gender
That's
and
a
all that
very
kind of
nice
stuff.
way of putting it.
Yeah, well, and you just see the negative like outcomes a society has when like families fall apart, right? And it's especially hard on the children. Like you see, more the kids are more likely to go to prison, they're more likely to drop out of school, they're more
Does Pearl have kids?
No, she's not even married.
Wait, this bitch ain't even married? I thought she was at least married. Oh my god. Okay, this is even worse.
likely to be in mental health
What is it?
institutions. So you just see like
What mental health institutions? Didn't we close all of the mental health institutions? Hashtag bring back mental health institutions.
No, hashtag bring back silence.
Also, what the hell is it with women who have never been married or had children weighing in on topics like marriage and child rearing? What is, like, this has always been a thing. Like with that spinster auntie in the corner telling you how to raise your kid and you just want to bitch slap her because she never had kids and she never got married. But now it's like on crack. And we've got women like this sitting there doing this exact bullshit.
What are the majority of what seems to be the majority of people who work in the child care field?
People who don't want to have kids but really like playing with other people's kids.
all of the problems that come with
She seems like she
single
wouldn't
mother.
even like playing with other people's kids. I just can't see Pearl interacting with children on any happy basis.
Their home. So I just think it's important that we push policies that push family.
So how do you push a policy that promotes family? Like in what way can you force a family to stay together?
Yeah, how do you, okay, right. If there is a group of people who really shouldn't be together, but they, like, at one point thought they should, like, shouldn't they, like, find some other dynamic of existence, like co-parenting or something, like if it's really bad, like if people are in this group are like beating each other and stepping out on each other and doing things that have not been agreed upon, like, wouldn't dissolving the unit for the sake of everybody's mental health be a better option? Like, there is like, most times, yeah, work through it, right? But there are times where you absolutely should not work through it, and the disillusionment of the unit is probably, unfortunately, the best option. And these people act like when like a divorce happens, that there's this giant party, and like, yeah, I'm sure if it was a bad marriage and the divorce happens, like, yeah, there's that joke, oh, I lost, 100 and whatever pounds of bitch, or, whatever. But it's still, like, you're not happy. Like, it's not the same thing.
Or encourage it.
And these people are acting like people just
Well, I think you first have to get rid of incentives that
and have a
incentivize
party.
like women to leave families. So, like, for example, child support, alimony. I'm not really a fan of those.
Child support. So if there's a divorce, let's say
Actually, I think we should ban divorce too. Yeah, I think that should be banned.
Oh, okay. So,
That sounds like she's trolling.
no, she's not.
I know she's not, but the way she says
That's because I really don't think that she understands how she sounds. I like, if you listen to the way she talks, she doesn't, the way she has her tone of voice, it doesn't match with what she says, and it's all the time.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's a little bit silly. You have to acknowledge that, right?
No.
No.
ban-
No, it's not silly that I want to ban divorce entirely. No, that's not silly at all. I think that's perfectly reasonable. I think that would benefit women and men very, very much. And let's throw females' property rights out the window too while we're at it.
Banning divorce means that when you decide to get married, you are not allowed by the government to leave your significant other in any situation.
Mm-hmm.
The hell?
Yeah. I just think that if you want to leave, you just...
Why is it saying that I'm not live? Weird.
I'm watching you live.
My Twitch mobile app just fucking... Okay.
Disconnected?
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens.
It literally says no active session.
Yeah, that means your phone doesn't have an active session. That means the mobile app disconnected, which it has a tendency to do.
Yeah.
You just shouldn't get married. So
Continuing.
that's just my opinion.
Right, but like in the real
You
world,
think that, wait,
kind of,
what?
Yeah. I just think that if you want to leave, you just shouldn't get married.
If you want to leave, you just shouldn't get married. So, no divorce, no marriage. But you're religious, I'm assuming, Pearl, so you believe in marriage. So, you don't want... I'm confused. What does she want?
Nobody knows.
Does she know what she
That's
wants?
just my opinion.
right, but like in the real world, that kind of
Yeah, I
separation-
like that.
You know,
In the real
there's
world.
like exceptions to this, but I would just say in general, for most cases, we could talk about exceptions, but like the rule.
There's
Well, the
exceptions.
exceptions are the important part, because I've heard you say that a lot when you're talking about things. You say, "Oh, you want to talk about exceptions," but the exceptions is the important part, because
Right.
those are the people that are going to be affected.
That's why divorce is there. It's not there for a freaking bonanza just 'cause. It's a last resort. Like, are people using divorce too much as a last resort right now? Yeah. Are there people that absolutely need divorce to still exist? Yes, also.
I mean, exceptions are going to be a large part of divorces, as you say. I mean, you're talking about 25% maybe or more, because if you're saying you're not allowed to get divorced, so we're talking about like, what if the relationship is physically abusive?
Right.
Yeah, I think if it's physically, this is the problem though. All right, if it's one-sided physically abusive, okay, fine, divorce. We can allow divorce for those exceptions, but
Okay.
Oh, how gracious of you, Pearl. Oh, and I love the way she's like, all right, fine. Like, I guess if
Fucking idea what she wants.
I guess if people are like one-sidedly beating you, then yeah, I guess divorce. I guess.
like I've even talked to people that work at like abuse centers, and they say that the majority of abuse is mutual. So it's not just one side's hitting the other.
Okay,
It's like
so if
mutual.
people are
Surely that's
mutually
not
abusing
everything.
each
I
other,
think-
they should totally stay together and continue to mutually abuse each other. Okay, that makes perfect sense. So one-sided abuse is bad, but mutual abuse is A-okay, and everyone should just keep screaming obscenities at each other, saying horrible things to each other, throwing things at each other. Oh, yes. As long as it's mutual, it's fine. You, Pearl, are an idiot.
Yeah, I know.
But it's not healthier either.
I just think that the goal should be to
Wait.
keep families.
Either. that's not every time.
I think. Yeah, I know.
But it's not healthier either.
Yeah, I know. Like, does she know this is a debate? Does...
Mm-hmm. I just think that the goal should be to keep families together, and that the goal should be to work through it.
Well, that is the goal. Nobody starts a family going, you know what's going to happen in 10 years? I'm going to fuck off. Ha ha ha. Nobody does that. The goal is always to keep a family together. You don't start a family with a goal of ending it. What kind of dumbassery is that?
I think most people agree with that, right? Because I think we all can look at the stats and say family is important, right? Family is important. Nuclear families is important to like the health of children growing up in general. I think we can all say that. But when you say something like divorce should be illegal, we got to kind of suss that.
I know it sounds stupid, doesn't it? But I don't care.
Because that's a pretty extreme claim. For example, in 2014, family violence was the cause of 25% of divorces. So I don't think it's fair to characterize that as some kind of like super fringe example of why people.
Oh, look at Ethan with a statistic.
Hey, did your phone reconnect?
Yes. There we go. Oh la, ooh la la. She thinks things, I think, says Spittlebuggies. Hello, Spittlebuggies. Hello, Driving Ape. Hello, other people. And remember, this is my glass of wine, so I have the ability to do finish-its without freaking...
People get
this is going to be bad.
Well, but you also have to look if there's incentive structures in place where there's a lot of false accusations in family court.
You're a founder. You shouldn't be short points. How does that work? We need to do like a afternoon of like setting up the
and a lot of people don't know this, that family court is actually based off, it's not based off of evidence, it's based off a balance of probabilities.
But we can't
and there are
do
incentive
that
programs that
so I can switch
you
things
get
easier.
like in the UK you get a free lawyer if you accuse your husband of abuse, and it's less than 10% of cases are actually like followed through with the police.
Okay, so doesn't that mean that only less than 10% of people get a free lawyer? So why are you bitching? Like, if you accuse somebody of abuse and you follow through with the case, shouldn't you have a lawyer? And if you're a victim of abuse and you don't have the means to pay for a lawyer and get yourself out of the situation, shouldn't your lawyer be free? What the fuck is wrong with that, Pearl? Oh, wait, because it's helping a woman out. And I firmly believe that you were denied by both men and women, and now you just don't know who to get picked by.
Sorry, I don't want to move on quite yet. I want to stick on
I don't want to move on quite yet, no.
Divorce. So you're saying that you do want to allow people to divorce. Then you don't really believe that.
And it's got to be in the blue dress from the other night. Well, we got once. I think my thingy's at the P.O. box, so...
No. I would say ban divorce.
Okay, but you just said
from different
you would allow an
things.
exception in the case of abuse.
I said one-sided abuse exception, sure.
The one-sided abuse exception. So she's sticking with mutual abuse is fine. Okay. So if there are children present in the home and you guys are drag out fighting, as long as you guys are both getting in blows, it's all good. It's fine. Everything's fine. Because there's two parents in the home and they're mutually abusing each other. It's great. Everything is fine. In fact, it's so fine. What? berries out of my sunflower. See? That's how fine it is, guys. That is just how fine it is in the mutually abusing household.
Okay, so how do you prove the one? So then you don't believe in forced divorce, or and you
Okay,
ban
fine.
divorce. Yeah.
Ban divorce except for one-sided abuse.
Okay,
Sure.
except for one-sided abuse. And is there going to be a system to kind of how do you prove that the woman or man
Well,
was on the?
I think
Yeah,
I think you have to press charges in criminal court, not family court.
You don't press... Let's back that up just so we can hear that retardation again, folks.
I think you have to press charges in criminal court, not family court.
One more time.
And
Well,
was on
I
the,
think
yeah,
I think you have to press charges in criminal court, not family court.
This bitch thinks you press charges anywhere but criminal court. What the fuck? What the absolute fuck? You don't press charges in family court or civil court. You file a complaint. Oh my good God.
So only if your significant other is tried criminally are you allowed to leave the relationship.
Yes.
Tried and found guilty criminally.
Yes. Otherwise, just stick out of, which.
I'll wait till after.
I was gonna say, if you smoke the grape pie, I'm gonna be mad.
Which is
Yes,
fine
it's
if you
a
don't,
capture card.
want to be with someone forever.
Because this time, this way we, once the capture card gets hooked up, I can run OBS and I can do just chatting and gaming and all sorts of things.
But I just
all
say
at once
stay
and
out
do
of
longer
marriage.
streams. And
Right,
because when you
switch between
marriage
things.
is supposed to be, for better or for worse. Just stick out of, which is fine if you don't, want to be with someone forever. But I just say stay out of marriage.
Right.
I'm sorry. There's a lot of people who stay together forever and they don't have a piece of paper. Hi! We were supposed to get married with the piece of paper and everything, and then COVID hit. Well, that's literally COVID was like, no. But there are a lot of people who are in happy relationships that don't get married. You don't have to be married to stay together forever. You have to be in a good, communicative relationship. Marriage does not mean forever. You know what means forever? Open, honest communication. And that is whether you have a two-person relationship or more than that. Open, honest communication is how that works. Otherwise, it's doomed to fail. It doesn't matter if you're married to one person, if you have 3 people, if you have fucking 10 people. It's fucking open, honest communication. It's just how it works. It doesn't matter whether you have a ring or a piece of paper or you went to a fancy building with a steeple on top and somebody in a robe told you were married. As long as you guys are communicating honestly and openly, you have a shot. Otherwise, just no.
Right,
because when you take marriage is supposed to be, for better or for worse, in sickness and in health. And for richer or for poorer. It's not supposed to be, when I feel like leaving. And the majority of divorces nowadays, it's just, when the girl just feels like leaving.
That's not true.
So and well,
it's just not true.
I've talked to hundreds of
Wait,
women.
what did she say?
And divorces are for poorer. It's not supposed to be, when I feel like leaving. And
it's not when I feel like leaving. Oh my God, she actually thinks that when people leave, they're just like, It is a real thing, but they don't just... She's acting like every woman everywhere just does these. She's acting like Every Woman Everywhere is like the worst woman out of a country song. It's crazy.
Majority of divorces nowadays, it's just, when the girl just feels like leaving.
That's not true.
So,
That is not true at all.
well,
It's just not true.
I've talked to hundreds of women.
That's
on
not.
my show.
That's just.
So-
You've talked to hundreds of women. Pearl, I'm not sure if you're aware how many human beings are on this planet, and I'm not sure if you are aware that there are only two genders, and I'm not sure if you are aware, but half of those people are women. So even if you talk to hundreds of women, you have gotten a very small segment of the population's opinion on whether or not women just wake up one morning and go, he's boring.
Well, that one does happen.
Oh, it happens. But no, I'm not saying that women don't do that. I'm also not saying that men don't do that either. But what I am saying is that she is acting like the percentage of women that do that is like 90% instead of like 10. That's what she's acting like. And it's really, this is what I mean. I'm like, what women hurt the men around you, like personally, or hurt you in particular, that make you hate women so much and make you victimize men so much? Because that's what she does. She says she advocates for men. And this is a big problem with a lot of the female men's rights activists. And it's just as gross as the male feminists. Okay? The male feminists are like gross and rapey. Okay? The female men's rights activists portray men as if they are just these poor, helpless, put upon, like, it's that they can't do anything for themselves unless we savior women come along and help them. Ew. Ew.
So, that doesn't prove anything.
And even if you look at when no fault divorce was initiated in the 1970, I think it was initiated. I mean, one of the number one reasons was financial differences and irreconcilable. Sorry, good dog. But yeah, I just think,
do you know what irreconcilable differences means? It could mean a lot of things. Irreconcilable differences means they went to frickin' counseling, they went to mediation, they tried fucking everything and it didn't work. That's what irreconcilable difference means. It doesn't mean like,
For the people that don't believe in real marriage, because what is marriage if you can get divorced over damn near anything? It's not marriage anymore. It's something else.
Well, I think the reason for that, historically, this emphasis on staying married, right? Or even before this no-fault divorce was an option, and it was more difficult for women to get divorced, or men, the abuse of power and the risk for abuse and for people to get stuck in a horrible relationship situation, not just for them, but their kids, right? I mean, obviously, having your kids watch their mother get beat up. Yeah.
How many... Here's a good question, Pearly dear, Pearly McPearl. How many serial killers born before no-fault divorce tell of two-parent households where abuse was mutual, by the way, in a lot of these cases of serial killers recounting their childhoods, okay? Either dad beat mom and then mom beat the kids, or dad and mom beat each other, or, it was always something. Really? You think no-fault divorce is a bad thing? Okay.
And oftentimes it's going to bleed.
Or the kids get watching their father get beat up. Like, it goes both ways.
I acknowledge that it goes both ways. So both people have a right to, in my opinion.
Female men's rights activists are like SJWs for men. Yup. Yeah. Exactly, driving ape. Don't even get me started on the Catholic divorce procedure. That's true, Maddie. That's true, Maddie.
Opinion, get divorced because the alternative.
Just because it was seen as obscene, and people just suffered in silence because they were afraid of what their family would think if they got divorced. So they just, continued the cycle of anger and sadness.
A right to, in my opinion, get divorced because the alternative is one of the partners being stuck and like.
Do you think that's the
a lethal
situation? Do you think that's the majority of cases?
A majority of cases of what? Divorce?
Of divorce.
25%. 25%.
What?
It's 25% based on statistics.
No, that's not. No, that's not what's in criminal court. It's like less than 10%. It actually followed through in criminal court.
Well, regardless, 10%'s enough, don't you think?
Right? Like what? Like 10% of divorces going to criminal court for domestic violence. Don't you think that's enough to, like, that's a lot?
No, I said less than 10% of the abuse cases of the 25%. So that's like...
Journal of Family Violence in 2014 found that approximately 25% of divorces in the United States involve domestic violence.
Right, but again, that's because...
They just didn't win the gladiatorial combat over the dishes. The majority of divorces today are probably over money problems. Maddie, you're right.
And says that she was because they're incentive.
But you're just saying stuff. You're just saying stuff. You don't.
God
actually
damn, Ethan! What? Like, I'm actually agreeing with him. I never thought I would do that again. He's like, you're just saying shit, and it's true. She is. She's just talking.
True.
No, I do.
How?
No, I do. Like, okay, in the UK, there's a law that you get a free lawyer if Sorry,
but how does that prove that women are lying about violence?
Right?
Because I'm saying that you can't. Okay, you can't prove it unless they go to criminal court, because criminal court is based off of evidence, where family court is based off of a balance of probability. So it means it's more likely that they did it than didn't do it. It's not innocent until proven guilty.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god. She doesn't know what a preponderance of the evidence means. Holy shit. Holy shit. I learned this in high school law class. Holy fuck. How do you not know that even in a civil or family court, it's still based on evidence? It's just based on a preponderance of the evidence, which means more likely than not. It doesn't mean beyond reasonable doubt. It could be 51-49%, and it could still go in the favor of the 51%. That's how a balance of the probability. What do you think? There's a judge in the family court with fucking D&D dice? If I roll D20, you get custody. If I roll D14 or lower, you both split custody. Like, what the fuck? What do you mean, balance of the probabilities? Holy shit! You...
And remember, she's one of the smarter red pillars.
There is no smart red pillar. There's just... This woman should be seen and not heard. She is dumb. If she's one of the smarter ones, there's no hope for them. There is not. At all.
Right, but they're not going to jail. It's just to let the abused.
I mean, you could call
partner.
it jail when you have a lifetime of not seeing your children. When the
You
whole
could, but
like
it's not.
community. I mean, you could,
yeah, it's really not. It sucks, but it's really not jail. Like, not seeing your... as a mom, I could not imagine never seeing my children again. But you know what? If I still got to go where I wanted to while not seeing them again, it's not jail.
you could. I mean, have you spoken to these men? It's
Have you
like
spoken to these poor men who can't speak for themselves? Oh my god. She's
literally
making my
their
head
whole
hurt.
community thinks they're an abuser. Now they get to see
That's
their
why I
kids
have
maybe 3
wine,
days a month
Maddie.
if they're lucky. A lot of them
Sure,
are
yeah,
put on.
sure,
A lot of them
of
are
course.
put on.
Yeah,
right.
there's bad outcomes for sure, but on the
Horrible. I mean,
whole,
a lot of men zero themselves out during this.
they what?
Like a lot of men commit suicide
Oh, I
during.
see.
Like, yeah.
Oh, that's horrible. You know.
It's horrible. It's like absolutely terrible. Like I interview these men that are going through this.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is horrible. And there are men that go through it. Because the women that fucking they picked are horrible.
I can't. It's just...
Like, I'm sorry. Like, my mother, for example. I'm going to flip this around for the women's side. Okay, my mom. What's her thing? Men suck! No. You... Also, first of all, you can't interact with a shit. And you pick shitty men. So, that's fucking why you think men suck, lady.
Sure, that's happened, but at the same time, you're saying women are lying about violence, and I haven't
Fuck,
seen you.
I need to see what my my reward request. What imposter check? Oh.
No,
able to
okay.
prove
I'm
that.
saying that
I'm
you can't
saying
prove
that,
it unless you go to criminal court because family
but it's
court
not
is
a crime.
based off of evidence.
Right, but they're not going to jail.
not-
It's just about the welfare of the kids, and you know, what I mean, the people
It's a
involved.
crime if you're falsely accusing someone of abuse.
Wait, where did we go from? Were we talking about false accusations just now, or were we talking about actual statistical divorce cases that were because of abuse? Because I'm pretty sure we were talking about the second thing, and now she's flipped it around to false accusations of abuse? Whoo, boy! I feel like I might need
I'm
some
saying there's
Adderall.
no, you can't. They only prove it in less than 10% of cases.
Oh.
That's not okay. That's
Okay,
In criminal
ridiculous.
court, because criminal court is based off of evidence. Family court is not.
So let's just say less than 10%. I'll just give you the benefit of the doubt on that. Still seems like enough
Oh,
to
yeah.
give people the option to leave. And this idea that women just leave whenever they want seems a little bit infantile, since because people change, right? Especially when people get married young, which does happen. People change. People go through shit.
I actually have my best friend's husband got custody of his 2 children because of how loopy the mother was. It is a thing. Like,
People grow apart. A lot of the men who end up being abusive, you hear, were one way before they got married and
Yeah.
one way after you get married.
yeah.
So I don't think it's fair to say you're just leaving whenever you want.
No, like, no, the general way an abuser goes is they love bomb the crap out of you until they feel like they don't have to anymore because they feel like they're safe. AKA, you're married or you're pregnant with their child. Then they feel like they can abuse you. And it doesn't have to be on the woman's side. Like, if a woman is an abuser, she'll love bomb the crap out of the guy until, you know, she feels safe and that he's not going to go. And that could look like she got him to marry her or she got him to get her pregnant. And then he feels like, oh shit, I have to stay and be a good dad. Like, this isn't the woman that I fell in love with, but maybe, maybe she's going through a rough time. Maybe the pregnancy's hard on her. Maybe whatever. It goes both ways. Nobody, like, I would say maybe, like 1 or 2% of people fall for an outright asshole. And that person is just always a jerk. But usually abusers do not present themselves as abusers right away.
You should just have to stay in this forever. Wouldn't you prefer people get married than never get married? Like, I feel like you would be disturbed if, like, only 5% of couples ever got married.
Mm-hmm. I'd rather people got married and stayed married.
That's awful.
Right, but that wasn't one of the options.
I actually don't see a point in getting married with the way that marriage is today, to be honest. Yeah, because again, like, what is it? The average marriage is like 8 years. So the average marriage is 8 years and you're done. That's not marriage.
Right. Okay. She does have a point. There are a lot of people that are running to divorce courts before they're running to a couples counselor. Or even just sitting down with each other and saying, okay, we need to start communicating better. Let's figure out how to do that. There are a lot of people running to divorce courts before any of that happens. Yes, I will give Pearl that. One thing. One concession. We're at 22 minutes in here and I've given her one concession.
Leaving a marriage due to domestic violence and not pursuing criminal charges. Let's say that a woman's in a marriage and they have no fault marriage divorce. So let's say she doesn't want to charge her husband. She just wants to leave amicably, okay? But in your situation, she's forced to charge him legally, to have a police investigation, charge him for domestic violence.
Right. Like, what if he's not abusive to the kids? What if he's not actually even abusive, like, to you guys? You guys can't communicate. You guys fight. You guys get horrible to each other when you fight. And maybe, like, once you pushed him and he whacked you or something, and you both were like, okay, that's too far. We have to separate here. Under that logic, this woman would have to charge her husband with domestic violence, and then the kids wouldn't get to see him anymore. But what if he never laid a hand on the kids? What if he loves his kids to death? That makes no sense.
Wouldn't that be more damaging to his reputation?
Yes.
Not if he beat the case, because again, it's based off of evidence. But I mean, I think that why would you want an abusive guy walking free? If he's actually abusive, he should go to jail. Shouldn't we agree on that?
Right, but it's just not that simple. Again, because it's just not that simple. Abuse cases, because and it's not that simple to convict people.
I just don't think that men should be punished without evidence. And I think in family court,
nobody should be punished without evidence. And nobody is punished without evidence. And family court requires evidence. It's just not a fucking beyond a reasonable doubt level of evidence.
Be punished without evidence. And I think in family court, it's not based off of evidence. It's based on a balance of probabilities. And so you have...
those Dungeons and Dragons dice. They're just rolling them around.
Case where men only, like, they're stuck seeing their kid like 3 days a month, when, again, it's not based off of evidence. Like, I've interviewed guys where literally the wife, and I've seen the court documents. It's coming out in my documentary that's coming out in the fall.
Oh boy. she's making a documentary about divorce
Yeah.
in the fall.
I wanted to hear that yourself.
Something that she's never, ever, 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 ever been through herself. Oh boy. That should be good. You know what? There are so many people making successful documentaries about things they don't understand. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a documentary about fucking heart surgery. Cause it shouldn't matter that I can't see or anything like that. Nobody knows what they're talking about anymore. So I should just be able to say whatever the fuck I want about heart surgery. There's statistical data for that too. It doesn't seem to matter. Maybe I should just do that. Jesus Christ.
But the wife was plotting to try to get the guy to hit her.
Right, I'm sure that happens, but
And the
that
wife still got custody.
right.
No,
But
she doesn't, Maddie.
that's not a representative case. Again, I mean, for example, you ask why a mom wouldn't want to try a parent. It's more nuanced, right? I mean,
I wonder what she thinks for, yeah, right?
you need a
For an
more
argu-
developed take on that
for,
because it's very
An
traumatic
argument that for when the
for the
coffee
kids
called
and the
for an
family to
argument
put
that's
their
just loud,
father
right?
through a violence case, and especially when the kids are probably going to have to ask to testify, to talk to the police. I mean, I totally understand why a mother or father wouldn't want to put their family through that, don't you?
I mean, I can understand it. Yeah.
Sure.
I can understand it, but I don't agree with it.
Sure. And according
Because
to
it
national
goes against my
statistics on
narrative.
domestic violence, okay, there's 10 million men and women each year that are the victim of physical abuse.
Oh, no, you can't say that there are women that are victims of physical abuse because she only cares about the men and how she can victimize them more. Oh,
But in
did
your
I say that
world,
out loud? Oopsie.
I have a feeling that a lot of these people would be trapped in these marriages. And that's okay.
I said in one-sided abuse, they could leave. Yes.
Oh, they could leave. Oh, they could. Not even that they should. That they could. Oh, Pearl. Oh, Queen Pearl. Thank you, Your Majesty, for the permission that you have given us on this panel today of being allowed to leave if we are being one-sidedly abused. Yes, I think she does. Just overlook battered spouse syndrome. Yeah. They can't leave. They don't feel they can't, right? Exactly, Maddie.
Okay.
So, no. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I do think in order to get custody of your kids, if you're going to accuse the other side of abuse, you should have to prove it.
You do. It's called documentary evidence, audio recordings, video recordings, text messages, emails, Facebook posts, fucking witness testimony. All of that is necessary in a custody case where abuse allegations are levied. Oh my God. Oh my God. How are you making a documentary and you don't know any of this? I knew of this when I was 10 watching my mom go through the fucking tamest custody case ever because my dad was fucking cooperating. What the fuck is the matter with you?
Do you think what do you think is more harmful to
This
kids?
is ridiculous.
Divorce or physical abuse?
That's a valid question.
Physical abuse.
Okay, you passed that one.
You pass on that one.
You had to think about it for a second. But anyway, let's move on from this.
No, I just thought it was kind of a silly question. That was all. But
Okay, that's refreshing.
Does she own a dungeon?
Tell me, what does red pilled mean to you?
Oh,
'Cause
this ought
I've
to
heard
be
you use
good.
that phrase a lot. You're part of the red pilled community.
This should
yeah,
be good.
I mean, It's a lot of people, I will say, a lot of people have their own definitions of it, so people use it for different things. But I would say it's viewing the world the way it's supposed to be, or like the way it is, not the way you're told it is.
I was gonna say, does she mean through the eyes of God, or does she mean through the they live glasses? Does she think she lives in they live and she's fucking...
So, like, you know, for example, a lot of guys think if they treat a girl nice and give her flowers that, you know, she'll essentially sleep with him. And then a lot of guys find out that's not true. And so then they, you know, came together and, yeah, realized that. So that's just one thing.
Is that true? Do men really believe that?
Got it. So the red pill community is a bunch of quagmires, and they've all decided that they need a microphone and a podcast. That's what the red pill community is. It is literally quagmires going, giggity, 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 don't get married, giggity, giggity, goo.
But what do you mean?
That if you buy flowers and be nice, she'll sleep with you?
Yeah, I think so.
We live in the they live times, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think that's real. I think that's like a really odd way to describe
That is a
dating.
very
It's just
small
like men are
percentage
nice guys
of women.
and women
Like,
are...
women, there is a small percentage of women that have, like, this weird Harley Quinn syndrome about them.
She's 20 fucking 6.
She's 20? I hate my life. I fucking hate my life. I hate my life. Why is it that these people who know absolutely nothing about anything get these huge ass platforms? And they haven't even lived. They haven't even done anything. They haven't had kids. They haven't owned a house. They haven't gotten married. They haven't had relationship issues. They haven't had to fucking go to the food bank and sort through the moldy food that they got from the food bank and throw out 90% of their food and go, oh shit, looks like I have a meal to last me for 5 days. No, none of these people have had to do any of that shit. Meanwhile, they're sitting there coasting on the top of all this fucking fame and notoriety that they don't fucking deserve. And fucking here... Oh!
Well, I just think
it just seems very cartoonish. Like we're talking about real world stuff, and it's just you can't.
I just think men don't really. Men don't expect like women to reproduce more with felons than non-felons.
This is
like,
why I stress. Yeah, I could.
Women reproduce more with.
For 10 minutes.
Oh. Are you trying to make my head explode?
Felons.
Mm-hmm. Violent
non-felons.
Yeah. I mean, like, think about it. Like, Ted
wait,
Bundy.
hold on.
It's really.
10:25.
Men don't expect like women to reproduce more with felons than non-felons. Like, I think that's a surprise.
Women reproduce more with felons.
Mm-hmm. Violent
than non-felons.
Yeah.
Wait.
Like, I think that's a surprise.
Women reproduce more with felons.
Women reproduce more with felons than Okay.
Violent
than non-felons.
Yeah. I mean, like, think about it. Like, Ted Bundy.
Hold on. Well, yeah, what does that mean? So felons who are procreating have more kids in general than...
Wait. Hold on.
I think Ethan just caught the same exact thing I just did.
I think this woman gave my cancer. I didn't think that was possible. Oh, I love that, Maddie. That's great. What did you say, honey?
I think Ethan is about to catch what I just caught.
Where she says that... What did you catch?
High crime, violent people.
Is she counting rape babies?
No. I'm not going that far.
Oh, okay.
No, you extrapolate from the way she just said all of that, it could go down a very dark
Is
path.
she going the racist route?
It could go the racist. I'm wondering if Ethan's about to ask the same question because he's like ready to. So let's find.
Also, how can women reproduce more with felons if felons make up like?
No, don't you try to extrapolate. Just play.
Non-felons? What does that stat mean?
They have more children with felons than non.
Serial killer groupies do not make up the majority of the population. No, they don't. Hi,
It's like-
Spillabuggies, welcome
I don't
back.
remember if it's violent felons versus non-violent felons, but I just remember violent felons have more children than non-violent felons.
Wait, how do you equate that? How do you quantify that?
I know how, but I can't say it because you'll get banned.
How?
There's a statistic that she's going off of that is a very bad one.
And so there's men who are looking at that and they're pissed.
No, not
Because I've
pissed,
never
I
heard
think
that stat in my
surprised.
life.
No, I think just surprised.
Right? I've
Because,
never heard that stat.
Okay.
Yeah, is there a source for that? It just seems kind of an odd stat. Like, what does it prove? Felons have more kids than
Well,
non-felons.
Okay, no headphone. Oh, no headphones is for gaming. Because if I put the no headphones on, you'll get feedback through my microphone.
Well, I think the reasoning is because women want a guy that can, like protect her, basically.
Oh, no. She is not going alpha fucks beta bucks. Please tell me.
A felon?
Yeah.
That's
Why
a weird.
Why do you think Ted Bundy had like love letters?
Oh, well,
Because
that's a.
the women that fucking wrote to Ted Bundy had mental health issues, Pearl, like you and me, except I'm aware of mine.
Whole different weird phenomenon about women being interested.
Fuck!
Some weird niche
No,
of
but
women
that's the
involved.
point.
All
That's
serial
Oh my
killers.
god!
Right, it is
Right.
surprising, but I don't think it's any interesting commentary on the dating scene that serial
No.
killers get love letters from freaks. You know what I mean? Richard Ramirez
well,
did too. All serial killers do.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah,
don't-
but the point is, it's one like it's not the same for women. It's just men.
so what is
Your
your point
milkshake
exactly?
brings all the felons to the yard.
That what does that prove? That
What's the punishment for breaking the no cursing thing? I can't remember.
Shot a grappa.
Ew! Why? That's like licorice. Ooh, arousing spanking. But no.
that felons have more kids than non-felons.
You know that a lot of times women pick the bad boys. You know, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Of having more kids.
Wait, what did she just say?
You know that a lot of times women pick the bad boys. You know, I mean,
Okay, there's a really big difference between a bad boy and a serial killer or a felon. Okay. Like, there is magnitudes of order difference between a bad boy and a fucking felon.
that's pretty much it.
Of having more kids.
I mean, a guy that's a violent felon. You don't think? Like,
Why does she sound so, like... Listen to that.
bad boys. You know, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Of having more kids.
I mean, a guy that's a violent felon. You don't think? Like,
Like, listen to the way she said violent felon.
Yeah, that's what I'm. That's
She wants... No. She wants one. She's a violent felon. She wants a...
Okay.
Is there a source for that? It's just a really weird stat. I'm just trying to grapple with it.
I can get it. I can get it in
I
a
can
second.
get
Yeah,
it.
that'd be great. I mean, we can try to look for it too. I just want to hear.
It's in. I can show you where I found it. It's
Okay,
in this-
fantastic.
Mm,
Yeah, Casey Anthony got love letters apparently. So she was a serial killer, right? Oh, she killed her daughter.
Not
That's
It's extra creepy that I'm playing that because we're talking about serial killers.
serial. Just a one
so,
timer.
so Casey Anthony murdered her daughter, and she was getting love letters too.
Right?
She got letters proposing marriage. Don't
Yes.
you find that surprising?
yeah, that is surprising.
So in a sense, it's not. It goes both ways. kind of.
Yeah, like fucking Casey Anthony. Oh, there were a couple of British serial killer women that had men interested in them.
When you look
like,
at it holistically.
Yeah, no, I think it's more so for women pick violent men more than men pick violent women.
No, men don't pick crazy bitches at all. No. That's totally why there's a saying called "Don't stick your dick in crazy." That's Pearl. No, men totally don't pick the crazy bitch. Nope. It's totally not a fucking mutual dichotomy. Oh, look at that. Call back. Look what I did there.
Based on what?
I think you could just. I would just say.
Right? No sticking Z Dickens. No sticking Z Dickens in the loony woman. Don't stick your dick in crazy is a valuable rule in life. Yep. Exactly, Maddie.
I would
Vibes.
guess. I would guess that it's more common with women
You would be
because
wrong.
of that study versus like a fringe case. I would be
How do you think Carla Homolka managed to get out, get married, and have 2 fucking kids? You think she had a... Oh, wow, you're
surprised
special.
if women got the same amount of letters, but I could be
You
wrong.
might be
You
surprised,
could
but do
be,
you feel
you
that
would
sometimes
be.
you argue from emotion rather than like concrete facts. I find that when you talk about, and I've watched a lot of your videos, you say stuff that I don't
He came prepared.
think has much of a backing in reality. It's based on feelings, maybe instead of not emotions, but feelings. You say, "I feel this to be true." Do you feel you do that a lot or no?
Good call, Ethan.
I try. I would say I.
That's a yes or no question. Take it from somebody who sucks at answering yes or no questions. Just say yes or no.
I'm a woman, so sometimes, yeah.
Okay, interesting
But-
defense.
So that's a no,
You know.
or that's a maybe.
Hold on. Do you want me to find it or no?
She pulls
Sure,
stuff out
yeah.
of
You,
her
I'll give you a minute. That's totally fine.
Mm,
But okay.
I have learned nothing.
So why should I engage with in a conversation with you at all if women are just emotional? Shouldn't I be talking to a man about this?
probably.
She's stuck on stupidity.
Why do you bother
and
to even have a
stupidity
talk with
is
a man
stuck
about
on
this
her.
in a conversation with you at all? If women are just emotional, shouldn't I be talking to a man about this?
Probably.
Why do you bother to even have a platform? Shouldn't you just concede to a man?
Yeah, probably.
And she means it. Like, she's laughing like, oh my god, he's right. I shouldn't have a platform.
You
Right.
know.
So we got to look for a man to replace you. Don't you think?
No, not
You
not
don't.
really.
You don't.
Oh, she lasted all of about 10 seconds.
But you do think women are more emotional.
I gotta find. Hold
Okay, go ahead.
on.
I'll give you a minute.
Oh,
Sorry,
I
don't-
can't
Okay,
research.
sorry, I'm trying to, like-
I can't look up the thing I should already know and talk at the same time.
That's all
Talk
good.
to you and find it at the same time.
She looks
Yeah, I'll
kind
give
of
you a minute
wasted,
there.
though.
But it's fine too. We can move on. If I'll give you a
Go
minute, but we don't have to get
Stog!
stuck on it.
Okay. Mm,
Exactly, Ghost Dog. She talked about bad boys on her YouTube channel before. Also, more serial killers are men, but crazy bitches are just as violent. Yup. She should have shown up with sources, but that would be giving her too much credit. Yeah, generally, if you're gonna show up to a debate, like, you come with notes, at least. Like, when I watch other debates, I see people, they have, like, notes or cue cards. But that would be too much to ask for. Oh God. Oh Lord Famine. Here we go.
And this is why we have the problem.
What's going on?
It's I mean, we can. It's fine. We can move on.
Might be waiting a while.
We can move on.
I
We might
found
be
it.
waiting a
Oh, go
while.
ahead. Okay, perfect.
Oh, there we go. What's it called? I'll pull it up.
She's looking up sources
Here.
on her phone.
Oh my God, really? She's not even...
In studio.
She's in studio. She can't even, like...
She's in studio and she's typing on her phone.
She's not on a computer.
She's in the. I think she's. I can't tell.
The link, he pulls up the study in this stream, so the link is on here.
Oh my God, you're going through a stream? You're going through a stream to find a link. You couldn't have found the link before you went on this stream and, like, pasted it somewhere? Holy fuck.
Whose stream is it?
It's Rolo's stream.
Oh, of course,
Rollo
it's
Tony
Rollo.
Brown.
Yeah.
Tony Brown.
Yeah,
He's a
he's
good-
great actually.
I know you're a fan. He seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, he's really nice.
Ethan's a much better liar than me. The only time I was invited to a debate, I was on my computer with my sources ready on my computer, not my phone. She couldn't even show up with a laptop with the sources ready. Good Lord.
I like his headwear.
His headwear.
I like when he rocks out.
Where do I send it to?
You
The
send it in the Zoom chat,
the Zoom chat, yeah.
or you
Oh,
could
it's
just
on
tell
my
me the
phone.
name of it and I can pull it up.
Okay.
Either
It's in Rollo Tomasi is offensive and vile. It's like 7 months ago. But yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Holy shit, it's a stream from... Oh my God. It's not even new.
Yeah, we'll look into it. So if women are so emotional, do you think it's bad faith in terms of an argument to argue from feelings and to present feelings as facts? Do you think that's a bad faith way to argue or no?
No, I was kind of kidding. I was like
What
joking.
were you kidding about?
Oh, yeah, now she's joking. No, you're not blind. You're not shadow banned.
When I don't know, whatever you were asking me earlier, you were like, do you?
Yeah, sorry if I've
I
been
don't even
missing
remember.
you.
You
spit
said
on Twitch
something
chat
like, "Do you
being
think you
dick
shouldn't
to
have a
me.
platform?" Or like,
Well, right. Well,
Yeah.
I asked and you said, well, I'm a woman. Of course I'm going to. I asked you, do you feel that you make arguments based on feeling? And you said, yes, I do, because I'm a woman.
oh yeah, I was kidding.
But oh yeah, now she's kidding because he's calling her out. Oh my God.
no, I use
Wow.
facts to back up my arguments. Sometimes I'd say I'm wrong. Sometimes I think something and it's not correct. But I would say most of my opinions, I try to at least have a basis of fact. Yes.
No,
Okay.
you don't. Where? Where? What basis of fact? You've been... Oh my God.
some things you just see in reality, right? I mean, like,
Some things you
sometimes
just
you're
see.
gonna,
Some things
yeah, I mean,
just
you know, you
see.
can,
That's
like, some things you
ableist.
just learn from interviewing
I'm
hundreds of
offended.
people. You see patterns.
Right, but sometimes when you interview people, you interviewing specific people with specific experiences, you're obviously going to run into a bias.
Right.
No, I don't think so, because we do street interviews all the time too. So that's like random people on the street.
Okay, fair enough. So so there's the red pilled, which are people who see the world for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have blue pilled people, which I'm assuming is someone like me. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to put words in your mouth. But
What's black pill supposed to be?
does blue pilled mean?
Oh.
People that see the world for how they'd like it to be, I guess.
Okay.
Blue pill's left, red pill's right, black pill's middle.
Ah.
I don't talk much about,
That's
I guess, like
retarded.
blue pill, but yeah.
Okay, fair enough. We don't have to focus in on that. So, I've noticed that one of the primary focuses of your content is kind of the problems facing men and how there's so much unfair societal pressures or norms or expectations on men. Why is it that you're so singularly focused on the troubles of men?
Especially since you don't have to happen to have a penis.
Why am I focused on the troubles of men?
Why do you
That's
have
a-
to repeat the question?
Interesting way to, I guess, phrase my content. I would say I think it's unfortunate what happens to men in divorce court. So that's
Okay.
probably what I talk about the most. Is I
That's-
think that men
yeah,
should have
yeah.
access to their children.
They do. Unless they harm their kids or like they're I'll take the green pill and laugh at the rest. Right? Well, I argue on the side of men's rights, but have a brain, unlike her. Exactly, Manny.
That's not what you
So-
talk about the most. You definitely talk about stuff like pay gap myth. You talk about men want younger girls. You talk about men are just doing what's in their nature. You talk about
They
women
can't help it. They're men.
who have higher body count are less desirable. I haven't. I'll be honest. I've watched a lot of your stuff, and the vast majority is not about divorce court. It's about this
No.
kind of like dating coach stuff.
Right? Thank you. She doesn't talk about divorce. She talks about stupid dating shit. Because she's in her 20s.
Mm-hmm.
No, I wouldn't say I'm a dating coach, but okay.
No, but that
You
realm,
act
you know what I
like
mean?
it.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't mean you're a dating coach, but like that kind of realm, it seems that you're super focused on.
Mhm.
So, what is your interest in that? Manosphere, maybe that's a better term. Manosphere stuff.
What is my interest? I don't know. I just thought it was interesting, so that's what we
Okay.
talk about.
Okay, that's fair.
Oh, she quotes Peterson.
So, what is you say you're anti-feminism? Feminism was basically a mistake. So, what is your problem with feminism? Let's start there. That's a good point, right?
I think that feminism wants equality when it benefits us and not actual equality.
Okay. That one I'll
And
give her.
are you going back to the beginning of feminism, like the whole history of feminism, like women's suffrage and everything?
Yeah, no, I don't.
You don't fuck with women's suffrage.
No,
You don't think women should get the right to vote?
no, I don't.
I'm sorry. Run that by me again?
You don't think women should get the right to vote?
No, I don't.
Okay, so are you serious or are you kidding?
No, I'm serious.
Okay, so women shouldn't have the right to vote.
Then you shouldn't have the right to your platform. Get the fuck off the internet. If women shouldn't have the right to vote, then you shouldn't have a voice. Go away. Bye. Bye, Pearl. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Fly away, little birdie.
Yeah.
Why?
No. Because men are signed up for selective service, so they're fined $300,000 if they don't sign up for selective service when they're 18.
Are we talking about the
Do you think
draft?
women should be
so I think-
drafted into the army?
You mean the draft that hasn't been exercised since Vietnam? And the U.S. has been in how many wars since then?
I think if we want the same rights, it comes with the same responsibilities.
Do you think
And
women should be
personally-
drafted into the army?
No.
Okay,
No,
so then
that's my
there's a
point.
paradox.
No, but that's
there.
my point. I'm saying, like, let's make it fair.
You don't believe.
Okay,
well,
now I
listen,
want
this
to
is
hit
your
her.
perfect
So
world.
I'm saying that if we are going to vote, have the same cost, which is that men are put into selective service and women are not. And if I had to pick between the two, then I would give up the right to vote instead of sign up for selective service.
Okay.
Okay, do you know why? Here's my theory. I can't prove this, but here's my theory as to why women aren't drafted.
So-
Women are the ones that make sure that the next generation of humanity is born. So if they're out getting killed, we can't exactly have children coming into the world now, can we? If you have your men drafted, some of them will at least come home and help reproduce when they do it. If you get your women sent out to war and killed, what are you gonna do?
Okay. Ghost Dog is correcting me in chat.
Okay.
He's saying she has said on her YouTube channel that she's 32.
So
I think that makes us worse.
yeah. That means that she's purposely hidden herself under a rock and has no fucking clue what she's talking about.
That's funny.
That's pathetic.
Oh, by the way, ad break. So just do a dance for a minute.
Do a dance? Well, I have to go to the bathroom. So let me do an ad break here. Grr. Come on. There we go. Come on, Chrome. Don't be an asshole. There we go. Okay. Now it's not being an asshole. Let's see. I can't run an ad break. It's dimmed.
Okay, so do a quick dance for everybody.
But okay.
Do the pee dance.
Doing the pee dance, doing the pee dance, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I shall be right back. I will even put the scene to be right back. Isn't that special? And music. And be right back. Hello, hello, hello. I have returned. And I am close to being out of wine. So we're almost to the end of tonight's stream. I'm sure there's more stupidity to be had. Do you think that women should be drafted and that voting rights are different subjects that people need to stop lumping the two? Yes. Women should be drafted. Yes. What? I know.
Oh, you're saying women should only get the right to vote if they sign up for selective service, but at the same time, you're saying women should not serve in the military. So, in your
wait, what?
world, women are just going to be disenfranchised because they're not going to be able to sign. They shouldn't serve in the military because they're not as good fighters, right?
No, I'm saying I'm saying for me personally, I would not want to sign up for selective service if I had to pick.
But
So in other words, Pearl should just shut the fuck up.
that's what I said about 10 minutes ago. If she thinks women shouldn't vote and they should be drafted, but they shouldn't sign up for the military, Pearl, there's a bunch of small creators out there that could use your 700,000 subscribers. Maybe you should send them other people's way.
You think women should be given the choice if they want to do selective service or not?
Yes. So should men.
I think if we're going to vote, we should have no choice like the men do.
So women should be drafted mandatory.
What?
We should have. I think if we're going to vote, we should have no choice like the men do.
Oh! I could use them. So same, Maddie. If I don't have 1,500 YouTube subs by the end of this year and 100 continuous Twitch subs and 500 Twitch followers by the end of this year, I'm done. I got to do something else.
So women should be drafted mandatory into selective service, you believe?
No, that's
okay.
But no, oh my God, no, because then I'd have to go.
You see the lot. There's an issue. There's a problem here.
That's exactly what you said.
If feminists want the right to vote,
men have to sign up
then
for
it
the
should come with the
in
draft.
The
It should come. I mean, it's not called the draft anymore. It's called selective service. Personally, in Pearl's world, I do not want to be drafted. I do not want to be in selective service.
I know,
too bad.
If in general, in terms of policy, because obviously, I think it's safe to say women in general want the right to vote.
Yeah.
Right? And
to own property, and to have a bank account, and to all of these things.
Then, by your logic, women need to be entered into selective service. Right? But you don't think that should happen, or you think that's okay?
Yeah, I'd rather not.
I'd rather not, but I still want all the other shit to happen. Because I don't want to have to make a decision for myself. Oh my God, that's what it is. She doesn't want to have to make her own decisions. So she just wants all of her ownership taken away so that she doesn't have to make any decisions. But what she doesn't realize is that even before women could vote, the dichotomy within most households still had women taking care of the house, still had women holding shit down at home. It's called a partnership, Pearl.
In general, the women, because women want to vote. So how do we resolve this issue? Do they get drafted like men?
I think it's unlikely that women will ever have the right to vote taken away. So I guess moving forward, maybe
she wants a collar and a leash. I would ask if she could be any dumber, but that she would take that as a personal challenge. But women who owned land could vote when there was law. That's true.
at taxpayers potentially you could do, but
It's
that's
worked
a whole
for the
Tax
Germans.
that's a whole nother conversation. But
Wait, what
no,
does that
I think
mean?
if we're gonna vote, I think that we should have
I fix the shit you break. You clean up the mess I make. Yes,
the same responsibility.
exactly. Literally, that's how it works.
And being listed and
You,
selected.
you fix the shit that I fuck up. I come behind. I do the dishes and the laundry and the fucking vacuuming.
Service.
Okay.
So that's
So you're saying women should also have to sign up for selective service when they turn 18, like men.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm saying if you're gonna be equal, make it equal.
Okay.
And
Okay.
for me,
But for me, I don't want to be equal.
I don't want to do that. No, thank you. Keep me out of that.
Okay, so right. I understand that's your preference, but I'm just trying to understand. Like, the
I
policy.
understand that's your preference,
That
but
in your red
in
pill-
order for
we're
this
doing-
debate to work, we're not just talking about you.
Doing the red pill. We're seeing the world as it is.
No, I wouldn't
I
assign
love
that
this.
belief
I
to like
can't
red pill.
believe
That's
I'm
not really
actually
like a
agreeing
red pill
with
belief.
Ethan
Okay.
Klein
Okay.
for like
Cool.
all
I'm
of
just trying to
this.
make a point about.
This is insane.
So, do you think having women in the army would weaken our military?
Yes.
This is crazy.
So then,
Jesus Christ, it's only
probably
10:47.
don't draft women into the army.
This is what happens when I start streaming at 9.
Yeah,
I
but
should
then
do
take
this
away
more
the vote
often.
with it.
But
That's
you're not
right.
giving that. That doesn't seem very fair. You see what I'm saying? 'Cause you say, well, you guys are weaker. You guys are going to weaken our military.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't want you in the military. But because you're not in the military,
You don't
you
get
don't get
to
the right to
vote.
vote. It's a catch
That's retarded. You don't get to have it both
22.
ways.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she understands
So what
what
do we do
catch
about that?
22 means. Yeah, what do we do about that?
Well, I'll tell you what I think we should do.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, it goes back to, I just think that you have to have some skin in the game. And so it's like, if we're voting for a commander in chief, right, that's the person that decides if we go to war or we don't go to war. And so it's easy to,
How about this? If we're voting for a commander in chief who tells us whether we're going to war or not, maybe that fucker should have served. How about that?
again, I think that if you're going to vote, you should have the same responsibility as the
About something. That window's not double pane.
Okay.
men, and women don't want to do that. It's either we're equal or we're not equal.
Okay, well,
If we're
just to
really
be
equal,
fair.
if
That
we're
would be bad. Somebody calls the cops. Somebody's yelling. You're gonna knock on the door. We've got a complaint about somebody yelling. Yeah, my wife is live streaming. Oh. No, Congress does that, right? The president cannot arbitrarily declare war. I agree. But I still think that if a president... I still think that to be president of the United States, you must have served. For at least 4 years. At least. You must have served in some form of the armed forces. No, and if your record, no, and I don't mean like do what George did, which was drink his way through his tour. I mean actually serve.
If we're really equal, have the same responsibility. But again, it's equality when it benefits us.
Well, but your logic doesn't even make.
Crawl over here. Actually, that was in response to Maddie talking about how the president cannot arbitrarily declare war.
Oh,
George Sr., George Jr.,
and Barack.
and Barry.
Yeah, that's true. You're either with us or against us. Fuck you, Congress. We're going to war. Yeehaw! And Jean Chrétien was like, no, we are against you. That is stupid. We are not doing that. Tabarnak.
It makes sense. I mean, you're talking about. First of all, there hasn't been a draft in the United States in 50 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if there was a draft, maybe we could have
I
this
also
conversation.
believe
But it's
there
just
should be an age gap. Yes. This way we can't have another senior. Yes.
seems kind of silly. In 50 years, there hasn't been a mandatory
Someone
draft.
who instead of saying God bless America says God save the Queen. That's something you guys haven't wanted to say since, like, fucking 1620. What the fuck?
It just hasn't happened.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
so why is it a big deal, I guess, about the selective service? Because there's not going to be another draft. You know what I mean? There's enough people in the,
The
army.
resident of the retired
I don't think that there's
states.
going to be a draft. It's just not going to happen. And with the way technology is going, we're going to have autonomous robot fighters before there's a draft. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So why does it?
Especially now that we have this free will, this, what? Like, he's right. Again, he's right. Yes, he is.
You want to argue military with me?
You think we're gonna see a draft in the next war?
Us? No. The U.S.? No, because they... Well, actually, okay.
Come here and talk.
Okay.
Open the door.
Okay. This is a difficult one because there are rumors. There are rumors circulating in the DoD that there could possibly be a draft in the U.S. with the next war because of the low enlistment numbers. Enlistment numbers are so low, and it's not because people aren't enlisting, it's because Americans are too fat and ineligible. That this is becoming a huge problem where they have to lower the standards so much, where people just can't do it. So they're just going to start plucking people out. It's just going to be a draft anyway because of the fact that, well, they don't have anybody volunteering that's not up to snuff.
Well, how about they fucking stop lowering PT requirements?
That's why. That's why they have to be able to keep lowering them. Because they can't have the people... That's why. Because the people are too fat and they can't do the requirements.
Then
It's
they should either lose the weight or get the fuck out.
That's...
That's how it is.
No,
if you're
no,
gonna
you
serve...
No, stop. You don't get it. It doesn't have to do with it's the fact that the average weight of an American is over the minimum standards.
Okay.
That's the problem.
Okay.
The average American 18-year-olds are not up to snuff.
They're overweight.
There's not enough of them.
Okay. They're overweight, underdeveloped.
The ones that are going to schools. They're not volunteering.
They're ones
Because they have the ability, they have the money, they have all of that to go to the schools. The ones who usually enlist are the ones who can't go to the schools.
Right.
The ones from my high school, for instance.
So the ones they want are the ones aiming for the athletic scholarships.
Send the poor to war, while the rich sit back and eat cake.
Yeah,
That's
but
how it's always been.
No,
that's how it's always been.
Okay, but if you have stupid soldiers, then don't you get a lot of more casualties?
No, because stupid listen.
Oh. Smart don't listen.
Smart get people killed. Smart soldiers get people killed. Dumb soldiers follow orders.
Because smart soldiers want to think of their own plan, and
There you go.
And they don't want to do what they're...
Yes, now stop overanalyzing.
Okay.
Yes.
Why does it matter? I just don't see the point with the selective service thing.
I just think it's, again, like, women want all the rights without the
What
responsibility.
other
Good night,
ones?
Maddie.
If you don't
Thanks
think,
for stopping by.
that there's going to be a draft, then equally do what the men do. Men
Well,
are
they
fined $300,000.
Well, they don't have the
sign up for
option. They
selective.
don't even have the option right now.
Right. So give them the option.
Okay,
I'm just
let's give
saying,
them the
make it
option.
equal. Make it equal.
Make it
Not the
equal.
option. It has to be mandatory
I
if
know,
we're going to
but
make
you
it.
saying like women want the right to vote, but they don't want to enter in selective service, but it's not an option. So how do you know what all women want?
Because I'm Queen Pearl and I know everything about women.
I don't know what
I
all
also know everything about men. That's why I can victimize them.
women want.
So then why are you saying things that are generalized all women?
I'm saying, no. Okay.
Thank you.
Because I'm looking at the policies that have been pushed. And I'm saying
By-
the policies are not.
By who? By men?
Where are the feminists fighting for equality in this situation? Like when
think- Yeah, I mean, again, it's not that relevant, but also no women in the army is kind of a byproduct of patriarchy, because women are looked as that they'd weaken the military, as you pointed out. Is that possible that it's men driving that policy and not so much women?
This is
I didn't say women drove that policy. I said they don't try to make it equal. It's only
but so many policies have been enacted by men for women in the past 25 years. What the fuck are you
equal
talking
when it
about?
benefits us.
Even if nobody's being actually drafted.
I mean, 50 years isn't, that long of. I mean, who's to say? You don't know.
50 years. And how many wars since Vietnam has the U.S. been in? Okay, we've got the Gulf War, which was the first Iraq War. Okay, then we've got the frickin' bullshit in Bosnia that they helped try to solve. Then we've got the second Iraq War, and then we've got Afghanistan. Got 4 wars. Am I missing any wars? There we go. Okay. 20. Okay, so we've got 4 major wars and let's say 20 subsidy wars that we don't know about in the background. And nobody's been drafted. I would say the draft is done.
I don't know, but okay.
Unless, like Pincalo says, they are that desperate for people that they literally start driving around in blacked out SUVs going, "You over there, you look like you're good." Like
50 years. I mean, the last mandatory draft was like during Vietnam, wasn't it?
Do you not think it should be equal?
Don't try
Do
to
you think
count how
that
many
it shouldn't
active
be?
wars. Okay.
No, I think what you're saying is fair, but it's not making any sense. Like, okay, sure, let's put women into selective service. Fine. I'm fine with that. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think everyone should sign up for it. And
Exactly.
There's
If you want to sign up for active service and you can hack it, off you go. Like, if one of my boys comes to me at 18 and says, "Mom, I signed up," like, am I going to worry the crap for him? Yeah. But am I going to be proud of him? Also, yeah.
there's other ways that people can support the military other than being on the front line, right?
Conflating equality and equity again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So, what other rights do women want? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes, tell us, Pearl, what other rights do women want and not want? Let's hear this. Please.
Are contradictory.
Enlighten us.
Okay, women want the right to not be a mother, but men don't have the right to not be a father.
Yeah, they do. It's called wrapping their penis with a condom. That's about 98% effective in making sure that they're not a father. So, there's that. There's also, Jesus Christ. Also, a woman can't opt out of being a mother? Really? How many forms of birth control does a woman have? Fucking the pill, the female condom, spermicide, the sponge, Plan B? Like, really? Women can't opt out of being mothers?
No, she's talking about the abortion thing. Women can say, I can get an abortion, and men can't say you get an abortion. That's what she's talking about.
Except for...
Exactly what she's talking about. I've heard this exact argument. I know exactly what she's talking about.
Except for when we circle back to the beginning of this topic, or this debate where we talked about abuse and divorce, and the man who's abusive to his wife and makes her get an abortion. But Pearl doesn't want to talk about that.
Let's be realistic. Let's use statistics. Let's go with real numbers.
Women can have a, which I know it varies state. I'm in the UK, so I forget. Sometimes the US is different by state, but like in the UK, abortion's free up to 6 months, but a man can't opt out of child support. So it's like, why does he have the right to not be a father, but women don't? Or why do women have the right to not be mothers, but men don't have the right to not be fathers? I don't think that's fair or equal.
They do have the right not to be fathers. It's called signing away their parental rights. I'm confused. I don't know what you're talking about.
Cool.
Sorry, just to go back for a sec. So feminists actually do. They want the draft abolished. So their point is, let's not sign up for the service. Let's abolish the draft altogether. So they are They are fighting for equality. They are against the draft. There should be no draft. So men and women shouldn't be drafted. That is also equality, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You're making so much sense, Ethan. I don't know what to do with you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So you accept the premise is wrong.
You
on that?
accept the premise that you're wrong?
I don't. I mean, it's still not equal the way it is. But yeah, what they're
No,
saying.
it's not
What?
equal the way it is. Sure, and the
Yeah,
feminists agree.
yeah, but
Feminists agree with you.
Oh, okay. I've never heard them talk about that, but.
Do you listen to a lot of feminist ideology? Do you read?
I've never heard them talk about it. Oh my god. That's one of the main talking points of third wave feminism. Where have you been hiding
Books? Do you listen to
yourself,
lectures?
Pearl?
Do you listen to a lot of that stuff?
So I talk to feminists all the time.
Right. I haven't seen you talk to an actual scholar once. You just talk to kind of random women. Right. I mean, that's fair to say.
Ooh, after 5 years, the body fixes itself. No. It does.
So
it
when you say
could
you
fix
talk to
itself.
feminists,
No,
you
I'm kidding.
just mean like random
No,
women off the street.
it's been longer.
Not like a scholar.
That say they're feminists.
Yeah, but but feminism
doesn't count?
it's like a
It doesn't count.
well.
I knew she was
You
in a
said
dungeon.
you said you know what feminists believe because you talk to a lot of feminists, but I'm talking about like
No, I said I've never heard them bring it up.
I've never heard them
So-
bring it up. So therefore, it must never happen.
do you have any
Because I've spoken to hundreds of women, out of the billions that are on this planet, and the hundreds of millions that are in my country of origin, and about the 40 million that are in the country I live in now. I've spoken to hundreds of women on my podcast, and I know exactly what women want.
any interest in talking to feminist scholars who are more aware with like kind of what feminism?
Yeah, I actually, yeah.
I think
If you
that
know
would be
anything,
good.
Send them to the UK.
Well, we have enough fun that if I come out with a surprise, his body fixed itself.
Well, they're in the UK.
No, I actually tried for some, but then they'll be like, "You're a hateful woman." Da, da, da,
You
da, da.
are.
There's one that's I can't even
And
remember.
this coming from me, who gets accused of being a hate tornado. Jesus, woman.
Some blonde chick out here. Can't remember her name, but yeah, she didn't want to come on.
Blondes.
No, I'm just saying that was
I love it.
That's what she looked like. I don't know her name. I forget.
But like, I mean, my point is like when you just bring a random girl and they say, "Yeah, I'm a feminist," it's kind of like the Steven Crowder "Change My Mind" versus like actually talking to someone who's involved in like the scholastics, the academia of what feminism means historically in modern
that
day
is true.
and previously. So the level of discourse you would have is obviously different. So feminists are in favor of equality, though. So I don't know if that's interesting you or not.
She is bored. She's like, Like, it's honestly like, it's like she's, you know how I get sometimes when I'm having my really bad sleep problem? And I'm like, falling asleep while we're on the phone. That's what it seems like right now with her. Do you know, like, am I missing something? Like,
You don't believe me.
I'll take your word.
my brother had to pay more for alimony and child support than I get monthly in disability after he got it reduced. Jesus Christ. Like, yes, are there women that absolutely abuse the system? Yes. But should we undo the majority of the system because of those bad apples? No. No, we shouldn't. Because we'll be punishing a lot more people, including men, than we actually really know.
You can trust me. I'm a man.
Oh, ad break. Okay. Do a little dance. Do a little dance. I can't believe it's early.
Spin.
Like, turn around. Whee! This isn't a frumpy dress. It's a sexy dress. Feels sexy anyway. What color is it? Maybe the color makes it frumpy.
Okay.
Okay, so moving on. Oh yeah, we're talking about feminism.
You're back. Hello.
So what other? So you were talking about divorce court. Sorry, I know you were making a point. So let's go
he
back
did
to
let
that.
me
You were
know.
saying
Thank
that
you, Spittle Buggies.
women can
You know what,
decide
Spittle
to
Buggies?
terminate a pregnancy, therefore they can choose to be a mom, but men cannot decide that, and they don't get the choice to be the dad.
Very busy
not be
black
a
and
dad.
white pattern.
Right. So do you think that, like, do you not think that the idea that the baby, obviously the reason for that, right, which we both know, is that because the baby's inside the woman's body.
Duh.
I don't think that matters. Yeah.
You don't
So-
think that matters?
I mean, personally,
that would be because you have never been pregnant. That is a straight you have never carried a child. You have never had that bitch turn upside down on you while you're riding a bus. And you're like, am I gonna go into labor on this fucking bus? No, your child's just flipping himself upside down, getting ready to go out of your freaking pussy in 6 goddamn weeks. No, but you just get to feel him turning slowly around. Oh, and then his foot gets stuck and he has to pull it out. Oh my god.
personally, I'm pro-life, so I don't believe in abortion at all. But again, it's the double standard. It's like the women have a
It takes
choice,
2 to tango and 1 to carry on. Yep.
but men do not have a choice.
Sure. No, I see that
men, okay.
there is a sense to that which is unfair. Although there are a lot of single moms.
Guess what, Pearl? Nature's unfair. I don't see you starting a fucking wildlife rescue for all the single animal moms out there that aren't human.
As you pointed out.
Yeah, that are on child support, you know.
What? Am I what?
Not all, but you know.
Well, men have the choice in the sense that they can just wear a
Equitable BS
condom
again.
Right.
if
And
they don't want to
women
be a
have
father.
Yeah, right, but women have the choice to go on birth control.
Okay.
Men have
Women
the
have-
choice to
ultimately-
put on a condom. Like, what's the... I don't understand. Men can wrap it.
Plan B. Women have the choice to get an abortion. Women have the choice to, you know, take the morning after pill. Women have the choice. You've like IUD. There's a million pills.
Yeah. And you know what? If men carried the children, they would have all the options too. Do you see how that works, dear?
Right, but those will have to do with pregnancy. But I'm
Sure.
saying, if
And
a man,
women also can require men to put on condoms or not put on condoms.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Women can also require that the men that they sleep with wear condoms.
Right, but
Oh, it's all the woman's job that the man wrap it. It's not on his responsibility to wrap his penis. You know, considering that he's the one that has the sperm. No, it's the woman that requires him to wrap it. It is both parties' responsibility. If you're going to have sex with somebody and you don't want to have a kid, you need to have a conversation before you engage in sex. And you need to go, okay, I have taken my pill or I have inserted my spermicide. I would like you to also wear a condom. Like, why is that so hard?
Right, but if
So
it's
that's what I'm
inherent,
saying.
if it's inherently
Mhm.
unfair to men,
Mhm.
the easy solution is just it kills all this discussion is men just put on condoms when they have sex.
Yeah.
Therefore, that
Well, you can also say women close your legs. Like,
yeah, but you're
Except women close your legs is a lot more demeaning and unfucking realistic than men put a condom on. Because you can still have sex with a condom on.
you're the one saying that it's unfair for men. That's my point. You're saying men
no,
don't
I'm
have a
saying
choice.
I'm saying women have like 10 choices. The men have.
But that's just
condom-
biology.
The men have condom or no condom.
Like, it's not men's fault that women carry the baby. Okay? Like, that's just how it works. Men ejaculate and fertilize the egg. Women carry the baby. That's how it works. That's why women's birth control that's why women have more options. Because there are more, like, there's more risk to the woman's body. That doesn't mean that women, I don't even know what argument she's making, that women have more birth control choices than men. So what? Men still have options.
Which again is a choice that both of them make, because the women can require that the
I
men
wonder
wear
if she
condoms
thinks
too.
toilet seats
Right.
get
But
you
you're only-
pregnant.
no,
But
She
it's
might.
that men. I'm just saying you.
okay.
I'm saying you.
Once
She
the,
very well
once the
might
baby is
still.
conceived,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Then the man has no choice, where the woman has a choice.
Okay, so let's
Because-
just talk about that. then.
okay.
Because so it's your opinion that if a woman is pregnant, the man should be able to decide for her to have an abortion.
I'm pro-life, so I would ban it altogether. My point is the double standard, where a man is legally obligated to pay child support and will go to jail if he doesn't, but the woman has the choice to not be a mother through abortion.
Okay, but if she's not being a mother through abortion, then there's no risk of the father going to jail for not paying child support, because he's not a father. So what's the problem? I'm confused. Also, if a father signs away his parental rights, why does he have to pay child support? If a father doesn't believe he's the father of the baby and he says, "No, I'm signing away my rights." What? Like, that's... It's like she didn't do any research at all. Like, not even half an hour. Not even half an hour of reading did she do for this. And she's making a documentary.
I know you're against abortion, but I just want to know what you mean. So let's just say we're trying to make it equal for men. So should men be able to decide for women to have an abortion if she's pregnant?
I think that men should be able to sign off
I
on
agree,
child
Spittle.
support.
If it takes 2 to make a baby, it should take 2 to abort a baby.
Okay, so if they say, "Hey, I don't want anything to do with this baby,"
Yeah.
then the woman can decide to have it, but the father will have no obligations.
Yes.
And you think that's better for society?
No, I think that's equal. That's more fair.
Because life is all about fairness. Yes. Yes. If anything has taught me anything, life is fair. I don't think I could get through with that with a straight face.
Okay, so you're more interested in fairness than the welfare of society as a whole?
No, if it was up to me, if we wanted to go what's good for society, I don't think abortion should be legal.
No, I know. We're having
so that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
I'm saying if you want to make it fair, like, I don't think that's fair that the woman, after she gets pregnant, so they both make the irresponsible decision, right?
Equity
'Cause
BS
you'd agree it's
again,
irresponsible if it's an unplanned pregnancy that the woman, had sex with a guy without protection, right? We'd agree?
No.
Yes.
Yeah,
No?
yeah.
Okay. So you would agree that's equally irresponsible when it first
Yes.
happens.
Although I guess by your logic, it would be more irresponsible for the man because he has less choices. But yeah, they're both doing something
Well,
irresponsible.
you know.
Thank you, Ethan.
But yeah, they're both
If you have less choices, you should be taking more precautions.
irresponsible. So my point is, after that happens, women have the choice to not be a mother, but men don't have the choice not to be a father.
But
At least-
if a woman chooses not to be a mother and aborts the baby, doesn't that automatically make the man not a father anymore because the baby's gone? Or am I missing something?
At least, if they don't pay child support, they can go to jail.
Right, because that's for the benefit of the children, which is what's the most important thing.
Right.
Yeah, but is it for the benefit of the kid to kill him? Like,
Say what?
They're not a
dude,
kid
it's
yet.
not for the benefit of the kid. Like the woman can make
Wait,
a
what do you
selfish.
mean? To kill who?
I mean, I'm pro-life,
to
so
abort,
again,
to
yeah.
abort the baby.
So so if we're gonna go for the benefit of the kid, like if your argument is let's do what's best for the benefit of the kid, the benefit of the kid is not killing the child,
Is
right?
not
I mean,
to
and
kill
for me,
them.
like I believe it's a kid, right? You might not.
But
but
what's that have to
You
do with the
believe
fairness
a
to the
cluster
man?
of cells is a kid?
I don't understand
Okay.
that.
You don't understand. It's not fair, again, that men have the choice, that men do not have the
No,
choice
I
to not
understand
be
what you're
fathers,
saying, but
when
what-
women, yeah.
But then, okay, whatever. We're arguing in circles a little bit.
Okay.
Let's talk about abortion then, since you're against abortion. I'm assuming your stance is abortion should be off the table in any situation.
Yes.
Okay, so a woman should die in favor of her unborn fetus.
So if a dad rapes his daughter, then she needs to give birth to that baby.
That's less than 1% of cases. Why
But
do you
that's-
guys always
no,
bring up?
no.
I know,
No, but
why
that's
do you guys
important,
always
Pearl.
bring up the most,
Because
Because that is important. It fucking happened. Also, if a mother rapes her son and she gets pregnant, should she keep the baby? No. She should not.
Fringe
because if you're
exception.
going to have a conversation about
Okay.
difficult things, let's talk about the difficult things. This
But
is
I'm
why the
saying
laws
let's
exist.
talk
The
about-
laws
but I'm saying
exist to
let's talk
protect
about
that
the
little
most-
girl.
I'm saying let's talk about the most common thing.
That's
first,
easy.
and then
That's
we can-
easy.
But I'm saying
That's
so
not
we
what's
can- we
difficult
can-
about this.
But I'm saying we can get to the difficult things later. But it's like, why do you guys bring
Because
up the
that's
most
the interesting part. I'm
fringe
telling you, the
case?
law is there to protect on those
Right, but
fringe cases.
I'm saying,
I'm
why don't
telling
we
you why.
start-
Life starts at inception, but it doesn't become recognized as human till it's 6 weeks. So before 6 weeks, take all to comb the teeth. Women have. I disagree with you, blind. Women have more opinions. That's an interesting idea, Ghost Dog. That a man should have the ability to give the option. I can see where you're coming from because men are they're societally thought of as responsible to provide for that child, and they're the mother of that child, even if the mother and the father are no longer together. There's this dichotomy, or not dichotomy, there's this expectation that a man hold himself to a higher standard than a woman, and that he be there for the mother of his child, even if he and the mother of his child are no longer together. And then the mother of his child can just move on and do whatever the fuck. So I do see where you're coming from, Ghost Dog.
Why don't we start with the majority of
Didn't we
abortion?
just do that?
You think? Okay.
What do you want to say? You don't agree with abortion. So, like, if a men and women have sex and they're both being irresponsible, then sure, I understand. You say abortion's bad because we don't want to murder babies. That's not controversial. That's easy to understand. The point of
Right.
these laws is to protect
Societal norms on child rearing have changed, so should these laws. Agreed.
the little girl
Spittlebuggies.
who's raped by her dad. These are the challenging issues. So this is why I ask you about it, because this is the byproduct of your position of no abortions are allowed under any circumstance. So if you're willing to take that position, you can't just dismiss this because
No.
you are saying that this girl who's raped by her
I
dad
just
should have
think-
the baby.
I just think
Or not just to go to that extreme. What if a mother is severely ill, and she either can receive treatment that will kill the baby, or she can have the baby and die? Should she have the baby and die, or should she get treatment and try again?
I think we
You need to
spend a
answer
lot
that.
of time. I just think I will hold on. I just think we spend a lot of time arguing about fringe cases that are less than like 0.5%
Those are the
of
important
abortions.
cases. That's
And
why
I
we
don't
talk
I
about
don't
it.
think those are as important.
Well, and the
as
thing
nice-
is that she's an American. Like, I don't even know why she moved to the UK. Sorry, honey?
99.5% of cases. And so sometimes I think it's a bit disingenuous to say, here's this extreme fringe case that happened. And I don't think you don't make a law for the exception.
Yes,
Actually, yeah, you do. That is specifically why you make the law. The law is made because of the exception. The label on the Tide Pods that says "Don't eat" is because of the exception. The labels that say "Don't let your kids swallow the marbles" is because of the exception. All of these things are because of the exception. Don't throw snowballs at school is now because of the exception of somebody throwing a snowball with ice in it. The laws and the rules are made specifically because of the exceptions.
yes,
Like
you do.
you don't make laws. The general law is not for the exception, it's for the rule.
Their
why
family
would
That's not
you
an
go
rules
for the
exception.
T-word,
Why
I
is that
bet.
an exception?
TRUMP.
Or I mean, exceptions are important to the law.
Okay,
That's the whole
wait,
point.
Wait, do you not think it's an exception? Like a 13-year-old girl getting raped by her? I don't know what you can say on YouTube.
Yeah, you can
but,
say
like,
whatever you
getting
want.
raped oh,
I don't
okay,
think
we
I don't think raped is gonna.
we stay
trick the
away because it
bots.
gets us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But do you not think that's an exception?
You and by
McDonald's coffee cup saying "gosh" and contents hot is the reason.
exception, but
It's
she
not
was
common.
raped. What do you mean
Love
by
it,
exception?
Lord
Right. Like
family.
you think it's common.
No, of course it's not common.
Okay. That's my point. Like we waste
Do you think that it's less
so much
important?
time.
Do you think it's less important because it's not
I think
as
it's
common?
more I think it's more important to talk about the 99.5% of abortions.
That's easy. That's an easy conversation.
I agree. It's easy to talk about the women that use abortion as birth control. And it's easy to talk about all of that. It's not easy to talk about incest. It's not easy to talk about the woman who has cancer that has been trying for years to have a baby and finds out she has cancer and the chemotherapy will kill her baby. But if she doesn't do it, she will die. Like, what? Like, come on.
Not like I get your position there.
Yeah.
But law, but listen, you can
but
write.
to answer,
Pearl, you
yeah.
can write exceptions into laws. That's why they exist. Because why should that girl who's raped by her dad forced to give birth to that baby because you didn't want to have a conversation about her?
One lady calls this problem damn
I mean, I would
teeth.
still make it
funny.
illegal, to be honest. Because again, I think
Of
you either
course
think
you
it's a
would.
life or you don't. So if you think it's a child, you're never gonna encourage killing a child under any exceptions. So
Right.
It's
That's
I'll die, but only if I know the baby has a healthy chance. Right, like if if I'm like 36 weeks pregnant and I find out that I have cancer and I need to do chemo, but the chemo's going to kill the baby, I'm going to say do a C-section, do the chemo. Right? If that baby is like 16 weeks in gestation and I have to do chemo, I'm going to do the chemo because that's not viable. And I'm not going to waste my my life for a baby that I know isn't going to be viable. That's just how it is. But if it's within like the 30 weeks or more, absolutely. I will say C-section and treatment. That's what I would do. But if it's below 24 weeks, I'm going to be like, nope. Nope, you do the treatment, I'll try again. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I got my x-rays for my hips yesterday, guys. So hopefully we'll find out if something's wrong, what's wrong. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay.
That's the right, and that's I guess where the big difference comes between abortion, people who are for and against abortion is that we disagree on where life begins, essentially.
Right.
Zebra's looking
But
hot.
ultimately, what quality of life do you expect this child to have from like a 13-year-old girl who's raped by her dad?
Mm-hmm. Is a lower quality life less valuable? Like that's almost saying if you are in a bad situation, your life is less valuable than someone who isn't. And that's kind of a tricky argument.
But isn't it though? Like, I'm blind. I can't go out and get any job I want. I may have a good skill set, but my broken eyes devalue me. Like, that's reality.
Not less valuable, but I mean, if we're
But one should be aborted, one shouldn't. So one should be in society, one shouldn't be in society. I would say that's less valuable.
Well,
what?
It's more about you were talking about fairness. You were interested in the idea of fairness, right? Instead of the welfare of society. So let's talk about fairness. You know what I mean? Is it fair to the little girl that she was forcibly impregnated by her dad?
No. Is it also fair to that child that because his mother or her mother was impregnated by her father, that child is basically going to be disabled because genetically you cannot breed in breeding like that? You will severely disable the child?
Right, but is it fair to the child?
Okay. So who's
like that's like we could talk about
a 13-year-old
fairness.
is a child, by the way. She's 13. She is a
right.
child.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I agree, and I think that's horrible, and I think there should be the death penalty for rapists. But yeah, I'm sorry, like I just don't.
Yes,
I don't believe in
quality
abortion.
life
And again,
is
to me,
less
like to me, I think that's a child, and I just
because
can't.
you're less important. In reality, yes. Spittle buggies. Thank you.
Advocate for the murder of a kid under any
Okay, that's
circumstance.
fair. I understand where you're coming from. What about situations where like 12% of abortions are related to health crises where there's a chance the woman might die or the baby might die or both?
Right.
Your thoughts on that?
I don't know enough about those situations.
I don't know
really.
enough about those situations. Even though I knew I was coming on this debate with you to talk about stuff like this, I didn't bother doing any research about it. So I don't know enough about it.
An opinion on it. I would probably guess that they would likely both die in those situations. So
Sometimes it's just the mom.
maybe that's an exception, but I don't know enough about that stuff.
Right.
Then
Well,
maybe
we can
you
use our
should have done some
imagination
research.
just for the hypothetical conversation where there's 12%. I'm telling you, there are 12% of abortions are related to health crises. So
That's actually higher than I thought.
if it's the baby lives but the mom dies, what do you think should happen in that situation?
I don't know.
I don't know, because I've never been a mom. I don't know. I don't have no idea.
Okay.
Like, she's so
the reason
glib.
I'm putting your feet to the fire on this is because you says very specifically that abortion should be outlawed in all situations. So of course I'm testing that.
Yeah, I could.
I love how he
maybe
has
see an
to. I love how she has surrounded herself with such an echo chamber that he has to explain to her the debate tactics he's using. And he is really softballing her. And I have, I have watched enough H3 to know he is majorly softballing her here. He could go a lot harder on her than he is, and he's not. And she's still woefully unprepared.
An exception for the life of the mother, but
I am almost through an entire bottle of wine, and I'm making more sense than she has made in this entire. How long have we been here? 1 hour, 54 seconds. Okay? I have drunk almost an entire bottle of wine, and I am making more sense than she has done in this entire hour's conversation.
I don't want to quote this because, again, it's just something I've heard. I've heard it's not as common as people lead you to believe. And, sometimes those stats are manipulated, but I don't.
Yeah, but the commonness.
There are valid reasons for abortion, but carte blanche abortion is the actual reason. Bingo! He's treating her like a preteen. Yeah, he really is. But honestly, if you're going to present yourself like one, then you deserve to be treated like one.
The commonness doesn't really matter. It's more about I think the exception.
2 hours, 28 minutes on my counter. Right, so we're my stream's at 2 hours, 28 minutes. This video is at 1 hour and 50 something seconds.
I disagree. I think when you say, why are we focusing on the exceptions? I think that's a way for you to try to dismiss difficult questions.
Agreed.
Yeah. I just think it's silly when 99.5% of abortions are not the exception. So
you don't, but that doesn't make sense. I mean, why don't you care about the situation of everybody else? Just because it's the exception.
I just think you should spend more time debating the most common thing.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh my god. Oh my god. You've been a content creator for what, a year and a half? And he's been a fucking podcaster and debater for what? 5, 6, 7 years at least? I don't agree with about 95% of the shit that he says. But holy shit, Pearl. Way to not know your debate opponent, dude. Holy fuck. Wow. Wow. Just
care about the situation of everybody else. Just because it's the exception.
I just think you should spend more time debating the most common thing. So that's, my opinion.
I think you should just, spend more time debating the most common thing. Oh my god. Ethan, why do you not debate the most common thing? I know that you prepared yourself for this debate by watching a lot of my content, but I couldn't be bothered to not only source my shit, but watch your content. So now I'm just gonna accuse you of not debating anybody, even though you made your whole brand on debating and podcasting. Wow. Holy shit.
My opinion.
Okay. Very good. So we
Water
talked about
needed?
feminism.
Yes. I've got my water right
The
here.
problem with feminism is that women want
Don't worry.
equality, but they don't really want equality. They need to sign up for
Adabreaka?
the
Okay. Did Spittlebuggy say one was happening, or do I need to run one? Okay. Let me throw some music on and run to the washroom. Because I've got one more glass until we can finish this stream. So here we go. All right, we're back. And we have until this end of the emptiness of the glass of wine to finish this stream.
the military, which feminists want to abolish the draft. And then we're talking about reproductive rights, where the women get all the choice and the men don't. Is there any other ones?
I'm sorry. I was reading something. What'd you say?
Wow. Wow, she wasn't even... Holy shit.
Is there any other examples other than reproductive rights and
That's
voting
just
/
rude.
draft that shows that feminism was a mistake or that feminists are disingenuous or something like that?
I would just say, like, there's just a lack. The biggest one I would say is divorce court. 90% women get custody 80 to 90% of the time. I think 90% of alimony payments are...
Yeah, because women are 80 to 90% the caregiver. Like, wow.
Are awarded to women
What does that
And
have to do with
then-
women's suffrage, though? You said you
Thank you, Ghost Dog, for the biddies.
criticized the whole thing going all the way back to its inception.
I thought you asked other double standards.
What?
No.
Now I got a what?
15, that's 15 pearls.
Ah!
Well, I asked you what's your problem with feminism in general. We can move on, though. I have a good question for you. I hear you talk a lot about the pay
We can
gap.
move on.
Right.
It's fine.
The pay gap is a myth. What do you mean by that?
It is a myth.
Oh, because women don't do the dangerous jobs in society. So, like, I just think the pay gap, the majority of the time, is women making an excuse. Yeah, just excuses. Poor me.
Okay,
Do you realize you're arguing from emotion right now?
Are you gonna let me finish?
Oh, I just wanted to point that
No.
out, but yeah, go ahead.
Because
Alright.
you're
You
not
just asked what I
arguing from
You asked what I
facts.
think.
Well, the pay gap is more concrete than, I asked what.
I mean, when you take into account the number, women work less hours.
Right.
You don't do the most would you say that's true? Women work less hours?
Yeah, statistically, that's true.
Would you say it's true that we don't do the most dangerous jobs in society?
Yeah, statistically, that's true.
Would you agree that the majority, if you look at female millionaires, the richest women came from divorce?
Okay.
Okay, so
True or not true?
Yeah, that's true, I guess. I think so.
Okay, so what are we complaining about?
What does that have to do with the pay gap? Any of that?
Because all of those you don't think working less hours contributes to getting paid less?
Yeah, but you
course
know
it
the pay
does.
gap. Excuse me. Sorry, I've got phlegm in my throat. So what you're doing is you're misrepresenting what the pay gap is. You understand that? The pay gap, when it's analyzed by economics,
except there are women in many of the most dangerous jobs now. Yep. That's true.
economists and the U.S. Department of Labor and such organizations, they do controlled analysis where they eliminate all these factors. For example, ones you listed of women tending to work in lower paid fields. They eliminate
The pay gap is the lack of the women doing the hours in time so they don't get the raises. Yes.
Women working less. They eliminate for when women take maternity leave, all this kind of stuff. And even when you do a controlled analysis where you eliminate that, there's still a big pay
My
gap.
favorite are the people that argue about the pay gap bullshit.
Yeah.
Never talk to women who work in manufacturing.
Oh no, of course not. And they don't talk to the women that worked in manufacturing in like the 80s or the 70s.
That's not true.
Okay. Okay.
Wasn't it like 3%? Last time I checked, it was
No.
3%.
Oh, so there is a pay gap.
3%?
So, but it's not a myth if there's 3%.
Yeah, but the number they used to push was like 77 cents to the dollar.
But that's what it is without the. It's about 20%
Correct.
without the
Correct.
the
Correct.
control. Yeah.
Right. And so, yeah, I mean, when women, I just think if we wanted to be equal, then do the same jobs men do.
But there
And
is
we
a
don't-
bias.
When men run into the same issues when it comes to the situation. Yeah.
But that's interesting
do.
because you
Don't
admit
choose to do that.
there is a pay gap. 3%. I mean, I wouldn't want to work for 3% less.
No.
Yeah, I mean, if you
No,
think
for
that's
sure.
because of gender, but it's also because women are more agreeable. It's like 70.
That's included. That's part of the
Women-
control.
Okay. I mean, I don't think 3% you can really say that's just because of gender.
Well,
Sure,
I
you
did some
could.
research on this. The Department of Labor
I did some research
published an
on
in-depth
this,
report.
you
This
know,
is under
unlike
Trump's
you.
administration in 2019. This is from the U.S. Department of Labor. I can link you the study if you want. It's called Gender-Based Pay Disparity Study. The research team found that the raw gender wage gap was 17.4%, and the medium was 20%. The raw wage gap increased actually between 50th and 75th percentile and remains the greatest at the highest percentile. In addition, the research team found that the importance of human capital varied across wage distributions and part-time work as well as female-oriented occupations. The updated result explained about 20 to 70% of the raw wage gap over the wage distribution, but it left an adjusted wage gap of 10 to 15%. That was in 2000.
Men are usually able to start off at higher wages because they don't take the job unless they pay what they're asking. That's true.
19.
That's
according
true.
to the U.S. Department of Labor.
Yeah, I mean, I'd
Women
have to look at
are
that,
more
but the stuff I've seen, it's
agreeable, so
very
they'll
small.
just
It's like
take what they're
3%.
offered.
What stuff have you
Oh.
seen?
Off the top of my head, I can't remember.
Off
but
the top of your head, you can't remember. You knew you were coming to a debate, right? Like you were aware that you were coming to a debate. So you should have had some sources somewhere. Yes?
I can send it to you.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I just gave you a pretty concrete. I mean, the U.S. Department of Labor. Do you consider that a credible source?
Yeah. I mean, if that's true, it's just a lot of times like there are like parts of the study that they don't talk about. So, like even on this is what I was looking at earlier. Like they were saying the stat you gave earlier, 12% of abortions are not done on the surgery table of the emergency room. These cases are overwhelmingly doctors advising abortions ahead of time in case there are risks for the mothers in pregnancy. Also, that 12% number they give is highly inflated. And so it's like, it's just a lot of times there's more to it than just like a number you're giving me. But
oh, you mean like what he's saying to you about how there's more to it than just the numbers that you're giving him? The U.S. Department of Labor is way biased too. Also, race has a factor. Asian women get paid more than white men on average. Or white women on average. Interesting.
Yeah, what does that have to do with the pay gap? I'm confused by that.
no, the point is that like a number you gave me earlier, like there was more to it.
Which number? Which one? I'm sorry. Go ahead. We'll unpack that.
The 12% of abortions are not done on the surgery table of the emergency room. These cases are overwhelmingly doctors advising abortions ahead of time in case there are risks for the mother in pregnancy.
That sounds reasonable to me.
Yeah, 12%. 12% of doctors saying, hey, either you live or the baby lives. Those are your options. So if you want to live, I suggest an abortion. Like 12%? That's not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a doctor is qualified to say this baby is going to put your life at risk. I would trust the doctor to say that, wouldn't you?
Agreed.
Yeah,
Like, why
but they're
wait till-
saying,
why
they're,
wait
saying
till-
they're saying that number's inflated.
Who's saying they didn't say that? That what you read did not say it's inflated.
No, I said also that 12% number they're giving you is highly inflated.
Okay, so then why is it a problem? You're arguing, you're proving your point wrong.
Based on what? Because what you just read to me doesn't disprove what I said at all. It actually makes perfect sense.
No,
It
but they're
does.
saying it's inflated. I don't know.
They did not
So-
say that.
Who's they?
Yeah, they didn't say that. So here,
Who's they?
It's just someone I do research with. So it's
So just someone.
yeah. Don't.
that's good. Okay, that's
interesting.
fair. That's fair. Don't push, right? Here's a
Because they won't take jobs.
interesting analysis. I thought maybe you'd be interested. Women don't do the dangerous jobs. Women are overrepresented in healthcare.
True.
You know that probably, right? You
Yeah.
said that.
Healthcare, office work.
Number one employer is nursing.
Then hopefully you can explain to me why, when you look at the pay of women versus men doctors, you can see this graph. There's a huge disparity of the average wage of male doctors
Oh
versus
shit, he's
female
got a graph
doctors.
and everything.
You can see here, and even this is from 2022, last year. This is again from the physician compensation report. Male doctors make on average $285,000 per year. Female doctors make on average $228,000 per year.
That's not a very big discrepancy.
So this is the woman's field.
I wish I made $228,000 a year. Fuck, man. That'd be awesome. No more disability. Fuck.
And yet they're still making significantly less than their male counterparts.
Okay, does it say why?
Can't pay the house.
No, this is
bill?
just raw data. This is just raw data.
I mean, you'd have to look at why. So
So we could justify this by saying
I mean, if women work less hours.
no, but work with less
That's
hours.
what I'm asking.
Women work less hours and they're still making $228,000 a year. Wah! Muffin!
Yeah, that's
No,
what
this
I'm
is
asking.
this is controlled. They're working the same hours. They have the same qualifications.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, well then maybe they are in that field. I don't know.
Okay.
Because women doctors are typically in lower paying areas of the hospital office. Yep. More women doc than male doc in the U.S. That's also a good point. This is insane. I can't even.
Time to tap out.
What?
Time to tap out.
Yeah, it's time to. We've almost gotten halfway through this. So we're gonna do a palate cleanser with The Last of Us tomorrow night. So come by for that. And then we're gonna be back here Friday night to finish off this god awfulness. And I'm gonna have something harder than wine, that's for sure. But thank you for watching. Thank you for all of this. Share my Twitch channel. Share the YouTube channel. Everything. Gotta get the viewership up. Followers up. All that stuff. So, thank you all for hanging out. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. We will be finishing this extravaganza on Friday. I will be continuing my Last of Us playthrough tomorrow. So, come by and check that out. And I will see you guys then. And also, don't forget to check out the YouTube channel. Got some videos uploaded. And I'll be uploading another one tomorrow. So you won't want to miss that. And I'll be sure to catch you then. Bye, guys.